Good evening, my friends. Tonight I want to awaken something within you, the part of your mind that holds the power to create and transform your reality. Not just a few small improvements, not only the things you already believe are possible, but everything you truly desire. I do not say this as a simple motivational phrase or a temporary moment of inspiration. I say it because there is a deeper truth behind it. The consciousness you carry within you has an incredible ability to reshape your experience, change the direction of your life, and create possibilities where none seemed to exist before. Your current situation is not your final destination. Your circumstances are not permanent, nor are they a definition of who you are or what your future can become. They are only a reflection of the state of consciousness you have occupied until now. Everything begins within. The world around you is influenced by the thoughts you repeatedly accept, the beliefs you continue to hold, and the emotional states you return to every day. Your outer reality is a reflection of your inner assumptions. What you consistently believe about yourself eventually becomes the experience you encounter. What is man if not imagination expressed through consciousness? And what is the divine creative power if not the life force moving through your own awareness right now? Many people wait for life to change before they allow themselves to feel different. They say, "When I have more money, then I will feel secure. When I find the right person, then I will feel loved. When my circumstances improve, then I will finally feel happy." But this is living backwards. Life does not move from the outside inward. It moves from the inside outward. Your inner state comes first. Your emotions, beliefs, and assumptions create the foundation from which your experiences unfold. You do not experience life based only on what you want. You experience life based on what you believe yourself to be. The person you see yourself as today influences the reality you allow yourself to experience tomorrow. Your self-image is the invisible blueprint shaping your world. So think about the desire that matters most to you. Maybe it is financial freedom, a loving relationship, better health, a new opportunity, inner peace, or a life filled with purpose. Whatever it is, bring it clearly into your mind. Do not simply hope for it. Do not place it somewhere distant in the future. Instead, enter the feeling of already having it. Imagine that it is not something approaching you, but something already present in your life. Feel the satisfaction of someone who already possesses what they once desired. Your mind must stop seeing your dream as a distant possibility and begin accepting it as your present reality. An assumption may appear impossible to your physical senses at first, but when you repeatedly return to it, emotionally accept it, and live from that state consistently, it begins to shape your experience. This is the power of consciousness. The goal is not to imagine your desire for a moment and then return to doubt. You must make that inner state your home. Stop visiting it like a stranger and start living there like it belongs to you. Think of moving into a new house. At first, everything feels unfamiliar. You learn the rooms, the sounds, the details, and eventually, that place becomes natural. It becomes yours. Your desired reality must become the same way. Feel what it would be like if your dream was already fulfilled. Experience the emotions connected to it. See the details, hear the conversations, and imagine the moments you would naturally have if this reality was already yours. Because feeling is the bridge between your inner world and your physical experience. A thought without emotion remains only an idea. But when a thought is combined with deep emotional acceptance, it creates a powerful impression on your subconscious mind. You cannot repeat "I am successful" while secretly feeling defeated. You cannot say "I am abundant" while your entire being is focused on fear and limitation. The words themselves are not what create transformation. The feeling behind those words gives them power. Your inner state speaks louder than your outer statements. This is why you must unite your thoughts with your emotions. Become so familiar with the feeling of your fulfilled desire that it feels natural, normal, and expected, just like breathing. And remember, do not become consumed by the question of how it will happen. The moment you focus too much on the method, you return to doubt. You begin searching for evidence, looking for signs, and trying to control every detail. But the creative power of consciousness does not require you to understand every step. A seed does not worry about how it will become a tree. It does not calculate every stage of growth. It simply carries within itself the potential of what it is meant to become. And when the conditions are right, it unfolds naturally. Your role is not to control every event that leads to your desire. Your role is to remain faithful to the state of already having it. Do not spend your energy trying to force the path. Do not limit yourself by deciding exactly how your blessing must arrive. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be can appear through ways you never expected. Your responsibility is simple. Become the person who already experiences the reality you desire. Live from the consciousness of fulfillment. Think from the perspective of someone who already has what they once asked for. Trust that the right events, opportunities, and connections can organize themselves in ways beyond your current understanding. This is not about doing nothing. It is about recognizing that the deepest creation begins within you. Your actions are reflections of your inner state, and your external world follows the identity you accept internally. Every night before you sleep, use that powerful moment wisely. Do not carry the worries, disappointments, and frustrations of the day into your subconscious mind. Instead, close your eyes and choose the reality you want to experience. Imagine your desire fulfilled. See it clearly. Hear the words you would hear. Feel the emotions you would feel. Step into that version of yourself before sleep takes over. Because the final thoughts you accept at night have the power to influence the deeper parts of your mind. Enter sleep knowing that what you have accepted within yourself is already beginning to move into expression. Your imagination is not a meaningless escape. It is the creative force within you. The life you desire begins with the reality you choose to believe in. And when your inner world changes, your outer world has no choice but to follow. Let your desired reality become so familiar that it no longer feels distant, impossible, or extraordinary. Make it so vivid, detailed, and deeply experienced within your imagination that it begins to feel completely natural. This is the state you are seeking, not the overwhelming excitement of something you are desperately waiting for, and not the anxious feeling of something that is almost yours but still beyond your reach. Instead, enter the peaceful certainty of someone who already possesses what they desire. Let it feel normal, complete, and simply a part of who you are. Your mind is constantly creating, even in moments when you are not consciously aware of it. Every repeated thought, every complaint, and every statement focused on what you lack sends an impression to your subconscious mind. The subconscious does not question your words or analyze whether you truly want them. It simply accepts the ideas you repeatedly impress upon it and reflects them back through your experiences. This is why your inner conversations matter. Not because you must exhaust yourself trying to control every thought, but because you must consciously choose the identity you want to live from. When you decide who you are, your private thoughts begin to transform. In moments when no one else is listening, you begin speaking to yourself as the person who already has what they seek. Your inner voice becomes the voice of fulfillment instead of the voice of someone constantly searching. Many people do not realize that doubt is also a belief and fear is also an assumption. When you repeatedly give your attention, emotions, and energy to these states, you are not simply worrying, you are creating from that emotional foundation. Consciousness does not separate thoughts into acceptable and unacceptable categories. It does not choose only the beliefs that sound positive. It reflects the state you continue to occupy. Whatever you focus on grows stronger. Whatever you repeatedly accept as true gains influence in your life. This is the power of fear, but it is also the power of faith. If your consciousness can reflect limitation, then it can reflect abundance. If it can mirror loneliness, it can also mirror love. If it can reveal weakness, it can also express strength, confidence, and wholeness. The creative force within you is not a judge, it is a mirror. It simply reflects the image you consistently place before it. To awaken your mind and use this creative ability, you must stop allowing your past to define you. Your past is an experience, not your identity. It is a collection of memories and lessons, but it is not the complete story of who you are. You are not your failures, your struggles, or the patterns you carried before you became conscious of them. You are the awareness behind them all, the conscious power capable of choosing new assumptions, entering new states, and creating a different reality from within. When this truth becomes something you feel deeply rather than something you simply understand intellectually, your entire perspective begins to shift. The moment you accept the feeling of your desire already fulfilled, you begin aligning yourself with its realization. This is not empty fantasy or unrealistic hope. It is the principle of consciousness and the way your inner world influences the experience you create. Your mind is the true workshop where life begins. Every creation first exists as an invisible idea, a mental image, a vision, or a feeling before it becomes something physical. Every invention, every structure, every masterpiece, and every achievement began within someone's imagination before appearing in the world. The same is true for your own life. Your relationships, opportunities, success, and experiences begin as impressions within your consciousness. You must experience it within before you can witness it outside. You must accept it as complete in the unseen world before the physical world can reflect it back to you. When Jesus said, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours," he was revealing a deeper truth about the power of belief. He was not simply offering comfort, he was explaining the creative nature of faith itself. The message is clear: believe that it is already received, not that it will happen someday after you become worthy, perfect, or complete. The power comes from accepting it now. The state of already having it is where creation begins. The moment your desire is fully accepted within your consciousness, it becomes established in the only place where creation truly begins. Creation is not something that happens once in a while, nor is it a single moment where you imagine something and then return to your old way of being. Creation is a state of consciousness. It is an identity. You are not someone who occasionally uses imagination. You are imagination constantly expressing itself through your thoughts, emotions, and awareness. You are not someone who sometimes creates your reality. You are a living expression of the creative power within you. The deeper you understand this truth, the more clearly you begin to see how your outer world responds to your inner state. When you realize that your mind is the projector and your physical world is the screen, you stop trying to rearrange the images appearing before you. You stop fighting circumstances, people, and situations. Instead, you return to the source. Your thoughts, beliefs, assumptions, and emotional patterns. Change the inner image, and the reflection must eventually change. Your reality is an expression of the state you continuously occupy. Every person you encounter, every experience you go through, and every situation that enters your life is connected to the patterns you have accepted within yourself. If you want different relationships, become a different version of yourself internally. If you desire greater abundance, begin living from the consciousness of someone who already experiences prosperity. See yourself differently, speak to yourself differently, and respond to life as the person you are choosing to become. The state of limitation creates experiences that reflect limitation, not because you are being judged, but because consciousness faithfully reflects whatever you continue to hold as true. You cannot awaken your creative power through fear, pressure, or force. Real transformation comes through trust, peace, and surrender. Not the surrender of giving up, but the surrender of someone who plants a seed and understands that constant worry will never make it grow faster. It is the peaceful confidence of knowing that the process is already unfolding. Move through life with a lighter heart because the inner work has already begun. Do not argue with appearances. Do not become trapped by what you currently see. Return again and again to the vision you have chosen. Make that inner state familiar. Teach yourself to feel joy before the event arrives, satisfaction before the result appears, and abundance before physical evidence is visible. This is not pretending or escaping reality. This is the way consciousness creates and transforms life from within. The unconscious person allows circumstances to control their emotions, while the awakened person chooses their inner state and allows circumstances to follow. Never underestimate the power of repetition. What you repeatedly impress upon your subconscious through emotion, belief, and persistence eventually becomes your natural expectation. If you affirm abundance but still feel fear, do not give up. Instead, move beyond desperation and allow the feeling of certainty to become stronger than the words themselves. Let the idea become a quiet inner rhythm until it becomes part of your identity. Then, often when you least expect it, your outer world begins to reflect the transformation that has already happened within you. A conversation appears, an opportunity arrives, a connection forms, or an idea comes to you in a moment of stillness. Life begins to rearrange itself, not because you forced it, but because you maintained a state long enough for it to become natural. You are always creating through your thoughts and emotions. The question is not whether you are creating. The question is what you are choosing to create. Every thought filled with genuine feeling becomes an instruction to your subconscious mind. Every fear repeatedly entertained becomes an invitation for more experiences that match it. So choose consciously. Instead of expecting struggle, begin expecting possibilities. Instead of rehearsing the outcomes you fear, practice imagining the life you truly desire until that vision feels more natural than the old one. When you accept a new state and genuinely feel it as real, transformation begins. You may not see immediate evidence, but that does not mean nothing is happening. A seed grows beneath the surface before anyone sees the tree. Do not destroy your progress by returning to doubt every time you cannot see results. Do not move between belief and fear and wonder why life feels uncertain. Your outer world is simply reflecting the message you continue sending inwardly. Remain faithful, remain steady, continue returning to the state you have chosen until it becomes natural, because what becomes natural within you eventually expresses itself through your experience. This creative power is not reserved for a select few. It is not given only to those who are perfect or spiritually advanced. It is part of your very nature. It already exists within you. There is no hidden secret you must discover or ability you must earn. The power is already present, waiting for your awareness, your acceptance, and your decision to use it consciously. The moment you recognize this truth, you begin stepping into the creative power that has always been yours. The moment you stop searching for answers outside yourself and turn inward with a sincere desire to discover something real within, you begin to experience a powerful inner certainty. It feels like a quiet light awakening inside you, a deep knowing that does not require approval from the outside world because it feels more authentic than anything external can offer. This peaceful conviction is more valuable than any technique, method, or strategy, because once you truly feel it within, your outer world begins to reflect it. The outside is never the starting point, it is always the result. Consciousness is the source. When doubt appears, especially while you are learning to live from a new assumption, do not fight it or waste your energy trying to defeat it through endless reasoning. Instead, return to the feeling of your desire already fulfilled. Ask yourself what you would feel if what you wanted was already yours. Do not simply imagine it as a thought. Experience it emotionally. Feel it as a present reality. This ability to experience inwardly what has not yet appeared outwardly is one of the greatest powers of human consciousness. You awaken this power not through stress or force, but through peaceful acceptance, imagination, and the confident choice of the reality you want to embody. You were not created to be controlled by circumstances. You were created to influence your experience through the states you choose to occupy. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. What once seemed impossible begins to feel normal. What once felt like imagination begins to feel like your identity. You stop waiting and begin living from the feeling of already having. Never mistake silence or delay for failure. The space between an inner transformation and its outer reflection does not mean that nothing is happening. The moment you change your inner state, movement has already begun. The shift may happen quietly, through unexpected opportunities, new connections, or paths you never considered, but everything is unfolding according to the state you have accepted. Your task is to remain steady and return again and again to the feeling of fulfillment. There is a difference between thinking about your desire and thinking from the place where it is already fulfilled. Thinking about it keeps it somewhere in the distance, as something you are trying to reach. Thinking from it places you inside the identity of the person who already possesses it. The feeling you cultivate becomes the energy that shapes your experience. It is not about pretending to have something, it is about becoming the person for whom that reality feels natural. When the old identity returns, when fear speaks, when logic reminds you of past limitations, or when appearances suggest nothing has changed, do not fall back into doubt. Simply return to yourself. Step back into the chosen state as naturally as returning home after a short journey. Remind yourself that the old version of you no longer defines you. You have chosen a new state and you remain faithful to it. This is the true power of faith, not forcing life to obey you, but holding a peaceful inner certainty that the creative power within you is already moving. Allow yourself to believe in what cannot yet be seen. Feel your desire before the world